Welcome to Will Read. My name is Will. Today I'm reading The Rag and Bone Shop of the Heart, Poems for Men, by Robert Bly, James Hillman, and Michael Meade. A house of fathers and titans. Who is my father in this world, in this house, at the spirit's base? Wallace Stevens. Walking into the house of fathers means beginning in questions and entering into mysteries. Questions abound about our real fathers. At the root, our fathers connect us to a mysterious spark that flared between ancestors and two living people when we were conceived in this world. After that conception, walls stand between father and the child to be. When an infant comes struggling from the warm body of mother, it begins to fall into the expanse of air and light and the world of innumerable things. And the infant falls also into a realm of questions. Is it a girl or a boy? Is it okay? Intact? What's its name? The child is leaving mother, falling in questions toward the father. Before the umbilical is cut, questions surround the newborn. Cutting the tie to mother increases the uncertainties that attend new life and begin the shaping of that life from outside. Father may be in the hands that catch that child and ease the fall, or nearby in eyes that alertly watch the entrance to this life, but father may be kept back by custom or fear. The father may be in question himself. Where is he? Is the father here? Who is the father? Is the father known? Whether in the hands waiting or long gone, the father inevitably brings distance to the child's world and sadness. He is somewhere beyond the falling, reaching, calling of the child, and later, whether the father moves closer through the efforts of love or disappears in some struggle, he will always be present in the distance between one thing and another. So father must be sought in the world, in the wind between things, in whatever separates and distinguishes, in questions that penetrate the past, and in distant footsteps that we inevitably follow, not knowing where. Even in his own house, a father presents a mystery. As Robert Bly says, his two-story house he turned into a forest, where both he and I are the hunters. We are always hunting something of our fathers, and he's hunting too, and we're sure we'll know more of ourselves if we can get to him. Father is absent even in his own house. Somehow the father must be reached, touched, and we must be touched by him to fully enter life, to feel held in the world and separate from mother. In some tribes the child was not fully born until held by the father overnight, sleeping against his skin and bathed in his sweat. The child is not fully born except by the laboring and milk-giving by mother and the stopping of work and giving of sweat by father. Seeking that touch, that blessing from the father can cause us to be as passive as an infant, or as eager for risk as a youth with a burning question. We will seek it in whatever gentleness we can find, in the tangle of his hair and beard, the stare of his eye, the nod of his head. But we will also endure the weight of his hand, the wreck of his rage, and the bitter ring of his words to learn his touch. And the father risks turning into an old Titan, a Kronos Saturn giant who fears the touch of children and so eats them. As Sharon Olds says, "No one knew my father was eating his children, and yet as he lay snoring our lives slowly disappeared down the whole of his life." Something in every father is titanic, ancient and huge as a cave or the depth of the sea. Something ancient awakens in a man when he becomes a father, something that comes from those old Titans at the beginning of time. There's some of Prometheus in a father that again and again will steal fire from the blue-black cold and warm the rooms of family and culture. There's some of Atlas there, too, as new fathers heft great works and plan ideal futures for child and family. Also activated deep in the psychic roots are the titanic forces of the brooding underworld, and Kronos with his will to devour everything. The Titans, once defeated, were pushed down into Tartaros and forced behind an iron wall and beneath the roots of earth and sea. Becoming a father opens the iron gates, and the Titans awaken and come striding up, carrying our inheritance from the Iron Age. The father of the Titans was Ouranos, the father of fathers. He is the disappearing sky god who mated with great Gaia, Earth. That started the whole thing. When Ouranos awakens, father disappears behind newspaper walls, floats off like a cloud of Ask Your Mother, or smolders in silence like a sky withholding a storm. Ascending like Ouranos, the human father rises above the titanic errors of fatherhood. Instead of heavy-handedness and the sweat of mistakes made, the absent father offers disappearing acts in clouds of uncertainty. Father has become a distant god, a holy ghost that keeps everything mysterious and hidden behind vague generalities, or single-minded endeavors or metallic silences that haunt a child's life. The 20th century has birthed great broods of children trying to reach him as father moves faster and farther ahead. Each one returning to the house of the father must go through the door of uncertainty. Who can foresee what knocking on the iron gate will call up? Once again will he be unreachable, not really home or waiting, willing to sweat out the truths? Or will Saturn answer the call with a raging appetite that crushes the bones of children, steps on their hopes, eats through their ambitions with acid criticism, and slams the gate again? This time will my own anger and resentment diminish, and I'll find him in a room making fires, with cracked hands that ached from labor and weekday weather. Find him steering through the vicious seas of those bitter times. Find him attending some mystery I didn't know, didn't guess at. Find him decently attending funerals. Find him among the race of fathers, earth and air and sea. MJM.